Although we are known as a nation of animal lovers, cases of cruelty are on the increase. Each year, the Scottish SPCA has to save thousands of domestic pets, horses and farm animals, and wildlife from harm and danger. The Society is giving us a behind-the-scenes look at the lengths they have to go to in rescuing Scotland's injured, abandoned and abused animals. Coming up, 2 baby owls fight for their lives.
And we'll get them to our wildlife centre and they'll get hand-reared. We'll probably have to tube feed them for a wee while.
And a surprise guest sets up home in Huntly.
Did you actually find it in your garage? Oh, did it just come in?
Five Sisters Zoo in West Lothian. Animal Rescue Officer Emma Phillips is here to collect a pair of tawny owlets that have been handed in.
What was the situation with them?
A gentleman found them, I think it was yesterday morning,
Uh-huh.
and obviously he's kept an eye on them. Gone back this morning, there was 3. One of them was found dead,
Oh, no.
and the other 2 are sitting.
Yes, Mum's definitely not
she's
there.
Abandoned. There
Yeah.
was a mouse appeared, he said, but obviously they're too young to eat by
Yeah,
themselves.
they are, exactly.
So obviously phoned you guys again and decided to take
No,
them
that's
away.
fine, not a problem.
The tawnies have been fed by staff at the zoo, but now they need some specialist care to allow them to be released back into the wild in a few months.
I see it was kind of a half eye open
Right.
earlier. This one here, you can see it's just almost open.
And which one did you say was the strongest? This
That one
This
looked a
one's
bit
the
stronger.
strongest.
He was sitting up. This one was not wanting to sit up. But I say they've both eaten.
Yeah.
They've taken a few bits of.
That's good that you've got something down there. That's fine, we'll get them to our wildlife centre and they'll get hand-reared. We'll probably have to tube feed them for a wee while.
The staff at the Wildlife Rescue Centre at Middlebank are acknowledged experts in the rearing and then the release of wild animals, especially birds. At this time of year, just coming into summer, the rooms here are full of many different kinds of birds, all vying for attention.
2 tawnies?
Yeah, tiny.
Well, they shouldn't be on the nest.
No.
The 2 owlets we've just got in, it's extremely unusual for us to get them at that sort of age. They're at the age where they would still be in a hole in a tree, around a week old at the most, totally dependent on their parents. We generally get them in at about 4 or 5 weeks old when they've started what we call branching, which is leaving the nest and being fed by the parents in the trees. They'll go through our rearing process, which is largely hands-off, so that we can get them back into the wild. So with a bit of luck, come August time, they'll be free.
Huntly in Aberdeenshire.
Hi there.
And Scottish SPCA Senior Inspector Alison Simpson's been called to a house with an unexpected visitor.
You've got a stray ferret, have you?
I don't know.
You don't know who it belongs to or anything then? Where did you find it? Did you actually find it in your garage? Oh, did it just come in? Hello, you. Oh, quick, shut the door. He's going to be out. Come on in, you. Okay.
He's keeping up.
Yeah, he's a friendly fella, aren't you? Yep. Yep, we've got him here. Right, I'll just pop him in the cage before he makes another bid for freedom.
I was in the garage here and he just walked past me.
Did he just walk into your garage? Okay.
Ferrets come in various colours. Brown, black or mixed, or, like this little chap, white. They've been used to catch rabbits, rodents, for their fur, and medical experiments. But nowadays, they're mostly kept as pets.
I could tell when they come towards you, you can be pretty sure that they're handled, yeah. When they're hiding in a corner, you would play it a wee bit.
Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, thanks very much for getting a hold of it.
Alison's going to take the ferret back to the charity's Aberdeenshire Rescue and Rehoming Centre to see if an owner can be traced. If not, the ferret will be put up for adoption. Our tawny owlets have settled in at Middlebank.
Tiny wee things, aren't they?
They were found at the bottom of a tree in West Lothian a few days ago. Their mum was nowhere to be seen, so they'll need to be hand-reared before hopefully getting released back into the wild in a few months' time.
Right, we'll just pop that on the scales. 194, okay.
It's important Wildlife Rescue Centre Assistant Manager Colin Liddle and Wildlife Assistant Lorraine Gow make sure the owlets are accurately weighed and easily distinguished from each other.
This is just purely so we can identify which one's which. We're wanting to monitor the progress of each of the Tawnies. So if we've got an ID colour on them, it just makes our job that wee bit easier, because I mean, as you can see, they both look very, very similar. That's what the mother would do. She would tap it and they take it. And as they get older, we can actually start to give larger pieces of food as well. And it's only a matter of time before they start picking up for themselves.
If everything goes well, these owlets will be transferred into an outdoor aviary in about 3 weeks, where they'll begin their journey towards being released back into the wild.
I think that might be them full now.
Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, thanks very much for getting a hold of it.
The stray ferret Alison rescued from a house in Huntly is now safe at the Society's Rescue and Rehoming Centre in Aberdeenshire. It's unlikely he'll have a microchip, but it's still worth checking.
Here you go, mister.
It would make finding the owner a lot easier.
So no chips found, just in case anything, if he's microchip, but nothing found there, which isn't actually that uncommon. Generally, by the time they get in here, they'll have been scanned, so it's unusual for anything to have a chip by the time it gets here.
A lot of people microchip their pets now, which is a little chip that's implanted into their neck, and if they're microchipped, it gives us all their details. We can return them to the owner. We've never had a ferret with a chip before, but there's always a first.
Judging by this wee guy's condition, he's a well-loved pet, so it's likely his owner will come forward. If not, there's every chance he'll be successfully rehomed. The Scottish SPCA's Pam Cairns arrives at Cathedral Primary School in Motherwell. As well as being an animal rescue officer, a lot of Pam's job time is spent teaching kids about animals and how to treat them well.
Kids love it. Yeah, they can't wait to tell me about their hamsters and their guinea pigs and their gerbils. Well, good afternoon, Primary 7. My name's Pam, and I work for the Scottish SPCA. Can anybody tell me what Scottish SPCA stands for?
Each year, the Society's free education visits reach around 160,000 primary school children. Catching them early is crucial.
The main problem we have with swans is fishing line. The last time I caught a swan, I took all that off it. Okay, you see that there? Right? Now that actually, even the stick was attached to the swan's wing, and all that was wrapped around the swan's leg. Now at the bottom here is a weight. Now that's actually quite a heavy weight. Now because that was wrapped around the swan's leg, it was pulling him under the water. So he couldn't swim and he couldn't fly and he couldn't get onto the land, so he was actually quite easy to catch.
Senior Inspector Billy Linton has been called to an alleged case of dog abuse in Glasgow's tough Summerston district.
Staffy.
The dog is a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, a breed sometimes unfairly portrayed in the media as dangerous and aggressive.
Have you got a Staffy?
I've got a Staffy.
Yeah, I might be up to see you. Has anybody else on this floor got a Staffy?
No.
No, it's you I want to speak to then. Right. That's okay.
At first, the owner isn't happy about the visit.
Hit the jackpot.
But finally, he agrees to let Billy in to find out his side of the story.
I'm Inspector Linton from the Scottish SPCA. There has been an allegation that you've been kicking the dog and screaming at the dog.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you any explanation to offer me?
They were fighting. Two dogs were fighting.
The
neighbour upstairs dog and him were fighting. I was shouting them. I was trying to get them away from them.
So it was for your own dog's protection?
Yeah, and the other dog's protection.
Right.
I was trying to separate them.
Yeah.
And I grabbed them by the testicles.
Right.
Two polo smokers came and it was two dogs that were fighting. There's people fighting and that.
was fighting, but it was...
Again?
No, we're good friends, you know what I mean? And it's more around our friendship with the dogs, fine. Her dog's a wee cut in its neck and that, it's been to the vet back and forth.
That's good.
But we always got them, see how the dog is, and But I give a wee chat now when I take my dog out.
Okay.
Just to keep the two dogs away from each
There
other.
used to be a guy that owned a staffy further up, and he bled it and all that. He made it for fighting, you know what I mean? And the dog has killed a few dogs.
All right.
He doesn't stay there anymore, you know what I mean? And I think the dog eventually. So they don't, as soon as you see it like that. Now it took me a couple of years to win there. Some of the old people across there with their wee dogs.
Aye, because you had a staff.
Because he's a staff and all, he's not like that.
What's your name, sir?
Billy's getting to the bottom of the complaint. And there's no problem. The owner cares about the dog and seems to know what he's doing. And the staffy is definitely friendly. But Billy still thinks some advice is needed.
When he's out, keep him under control.
Aye.
And it's all down to responsible ownership, basically.
His harness, he just snapped his harness there. You know,
Aye.
always rubbing against it and it
Aye.
just snapped. So I need to go get a new one, but the leash isn't good enough, you know what I mean? He can't.
I'm going to try and ruin your next method of controlling them, and that is I suggest you get them neutered. Not because you grab them, and I'm only suggesting it as...
I've never used them to breed, so he's never
No, it's not a case of that.
woman, so he wouldn't miss it.
It's not for that reason. It's, some people say, well, if they've got a bitch, they would get the bitch neutered because they don't want a load of pups or unwanted pups, which is fair enough. But if he gets off the lead for any reason, or the door's open and he bolts, he's not going to bring you 15 pups home. He'll leave them somewhere else. So it's a good policy, you know.
And you can sniff it when bitches are on here.
Where you can control them.
It's just so a bitch doesn't get caught with him.
Yeah, it was a really nice dog, very friendly dog. It doesn't look cowed, it's gone over to the owner, it was coming over to us. Quite a well-behaved dog. The explanation he gave about fighting with the other dog is a very plausible explanation. And he used, don't even think it was excessive force by the way he was talking, but you are allowed to use reasonable chastisement to control your own dog. And what he was trying to do was to prevent further injury to his own dog, so that is acceptable. I have given a bit of advice just to say that, you know, if his dog does step out of line and does go for another dog, that he is responsible for his dog and his dog's actions. He's quite aware of that, so he's got to put that into place. So, no, it seems quite reasonable and took the advice given.
The two Tawny Owlets have been at Middlebank for almost 3 weeks.
And
it's time to take them from their indoor box to an outdoor aviary. Already they are much bigger than when they first arrived. Owlets grow very quickly and will probably have reached their mature size when they're about 8 weeks old.
Just close that over. We've done all we can inside for them at the moment. They need a little bit more space. So we've brought them up to the enclosed aviary here, where we're going to actually be able to monitor them now for possibly about the next 6 weeks or so, where we'll hopefully be able to get them to release stage.
So it's looking really good for these guys. Just a few more weeks and they'll be ready for their freedom.
Say you were on your way home today.
Back at Cathedral Primary in Motherwell, Animal Rescue Officer Pam is teaching the kids about the work of the Scottish SPCA. So far this year, she's talked to more than 6,000 children and likes to involve them as much as possible.
What is the most popular type of animal to get in to get treated?
Injuries, it's normally birds. We get lots of birds in. But the most common animals we get in are dogs and cats, and then probably rabbits after that, and guinea pigs and ferrets. So really there's lots of animals that are quite common now that we're getting in.
What's the most dangerous animal you've had in to treat?
All animals can be dangerous. It doesn't really tend to be one specific type again. I mean, I've had dangerous cats, I've had dangerous dogs, I've even had a dangerous ferret. So, you know, it could be anything really.
What's the most unusual animal you've ever had in?
Aha, the most unusual animal. Last year, I got called out to a job in Glasgow. Now, a girl had phoned up and she was all upset because she'd seen an alligator on a roundabout near the McDonald's. And she was all upset and I asked her, I says, what you know, how long is the alligator? And she says, well, it's about 2 foot long. And I thought, okay. I says, and is it looking at you? I says, is it breathing? She says, oh, it's staring at me with its wee beady eyes. And it's got its mouth open and I can see all its teeth. So we arranged to meet, so she came back down to the roundabout and she took me over to the bushes and she was quite right. There in the bushes, there was an alligator. So I walked over, and as I walked over to the bushes, the girl starts screaming even more and I said to her, I says, yes, do you know what? I says, you're completely right. There is an alligator. I went into the bushes and I got the alligator I picked him up by the tail and went like that. And she started screaming, right? So I had to turn it over and go, it's made of plastic, okay? And the girl was absolutely mortified. She thought this was a real alligator.
Although these talks are a lot of fun, there's a serious point to get across as well.
Do you want to try and catch the badger? Now remember, the badger might not come quietly because, you know, badgers are quite aggressive. Oh, look at that, oh dear, and you've completely missed. Never mind, these things happen. Oh, look, he's biting the thing now. He's like, argh. I'm showing the children what we actually use, our everyday equipment, because we just take it for granted, don't we? We use it all the time, and I think showing them things like the graspers and the importance actually of wearing the high vis, because especially if we're on the side of the motorway, we have to make sure we're always seen. And I think the kids, they quite like it, don't you? Quite like to put the stuff on and to play with it and try and catch badgers. So yeah, makes it fun while learning, doesn't it?
I think it was really fun because you learned about protecting yourself and animals, and you learned that it's not always right just to go and try and help an animal instantly, and that you should phone the SPCA. I think it's really interesting, and you can learn a lot of how people treat other animals, and that it's not really nice sometimes that they hurt them and stuff.
It was great fun learning about how to look after your pets, considering I've got 2 rabbits of my own, and it's great to know that people will get punished if they hurt animals.
How would we catch the swan? You could use a swan hook, okay. Now, swan hooks are quite good because they're designed for this wee bit here, for their necks, to catch their necks, okay. But what do you think would be the hardest part of catching a swan? Do you think it'd be its neck and its beak? Or what else? Do you think something else? Its feet, but what about its wings? Okay, because swans can have up to a 5-foot wingspan, and when they hit you, it can be really, really quite sore. It teaches them to respect the wildlife in an educational way. You know, they're learning about all the different animals and the problems that they face and the problems that we can have trying to catch them.
Wildlife Rescue Centre Assistant Manager Colin Liddle has decided it's time for our tawny owls to be released into the wild.
Where are you? Right. Oops. Down you go. And oops. I'll just get you in quickly.
They've been here for almost 3 months and have grown from tiny balls of fluff into fully fledged adult birds, ready for their freedom.
So I'm just going to approach the birds. Not that I really need to, as you see they're actually flying incredibly well. I'm not going to go swiping at them. All I'm going to try and encourage them to do is fly towards me and get them to actually fly into the net. This reduces any chance of any damage to them. Once they're in the net, generally they'll settle down. I'll be able to restrain them, and from there I can transfer them into the carriers. Right, come on. That was straight into the net and settle down.
The owls can't just be set free into the skies around Middlebank because there's an existing population of tawnies. So, they're being taken to an area where they'll be able to establish their own territory. Torrential downpours over the last few days have delayed the release, but it's an overcast evening with just a few spots of rain. Ideal conditions for the owls. And this is the best terrain.
What we've got here is actually a nice mix. We've got a bit of a dense woodland at the back. There's a lighter mixed woodland just here, and we've got a little bit of expanse as well. The thing with releasing the owls, they're going to be unpredictable. We don't know where they're going to go. So within this area here, we're providing as many small habitat areas as possible, and it's giving them the benefit of choosing where they want to go once released. Having a bit of moisture on the ground is not really a bad thing. It's encouraging the worms to come up, so it'll give them that little bit of food source just to start off with. We'll just get this first one away and see where you're going to go. And there you go.
It's a perfect release for the first tawny.
They're not the most developed in terms of being able to fly through the trees at the moment. That will be something that will grow with time. Tawnies, they do roost in trees, and a lot of the time they will actually sit very, very still on sometimes the most inappropriate branch, and they'll just freeze. The coloration allows them just to blend in with the tree, and that just gives them the camouflage. I'm more than happy with that release. We'll just get this other guy away just now. Just send the box up, and away we go. There you go.
The second bird is also quick to fly off.
They've got just as much chance of surviving as any wild hatched. They're into an adequate habitat. There's plenty of food round about for them. There's no reason why they shouldn't have a happy, prosperous life.